So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today in support of Amazon workers standing up for Palestinian human rights and for being here to stand. My name is Danny and I'm a national field organizer. Thank you. And I'm a national field organizer with Media Justice. I'm happy to be here joining y'all from Virginia today because we recognize that the campaigns that we work on together, right, are not just by a neighborhood, right, are not by city, are not by state, but these are global fights that we are all part of. So today is historic. Just to convey the message to folks, you're trying to silence us. Right? But I know we all have a right to speak up.
We will speak.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard growing up in this country. Supposedly, we have a right to free speech. Yes or no? Right? But what we've also learned over time is that dudes like that actually try to shut us up all the time to defend corporations like Amazon, right? So I'm just going to share briefly right now that today is historic because this is the first time that Amazon tech workers are demonstrating at an Amazon event against their company's contract with Israeli Apartheid. This is the first time that we're joining together with tech workers and warehouse workers who are all organizing to ensure our communities can live in safety. From Amazon warehouse workers laboring under the watchful eye of the company's oppressive work quotas, to Palestinians facing surveillance at Amazon-powered checkpoint on the way to work.
That's right! Woo!
So, a couple of quick announcements, just housekeeping announcements. As y'all see, there are some haters around here trying to bother us. We do have a police liaison, homie right here, Ryan. So if anybody comes up and you need some support, just hit up Ryan. We also have, if a reporter comes by or anything like that, we have a press liaison, James right here. And then we also know that there are a lot of people here who are active already in organizing, but some of y'all might want to learn about what's going on, right? And so you can hit up Dave.
Over there. Right there.
Shamir.
Shamir right next to him.
Al.
Right here.
Or Daniel.
Right here.
they can share more about what's going on, why we're out here, and what you can do to join this fight. And so we're here because nearly 2 years ago, while the Israeli military bombed Gaza, killing hundreds, Amazon and Google executives signed the $1 billion Project Nimbus cloud contract with the Israeli military government. They knew that this contract would provide services to every part of the Israeli Apartheid government and parts of the military, powering everything from the agencies that expand segregated settlements that force Palestinian families out of their homes. We're here because nearly 2 years ago, a small group of Palestinian, Muslim, Arab, and anti-Zionist Jewish and other allied Amazon and Google tech workers in their shared grief and rage came together and started organizing because they decided that they did not want to build, market, sell, or in any way have their labor contribute to Israeli apartheid. Okay, cool. I'm gonna transition off of the mic because we're not gonna try to deal with extra nonsense that they're gonna try to force on us, all right? Got a megaphone? We will not be silenced. So since people started organizing, right, hundreds of Amazon and Google tech workers have signed on to the campaign pushing for no tech for apartheid, have led teach-ins to educate their co-workers, and even rallied along with hundreds of community supporters across the country. Last September, in the first direct action of its kind involving tech workers from two of the biggest tech companies in the world. As the Israeli Apartheid government and military, collaborating with Israeli settlers, is escalating violence against Palestinians right now, such as the attack we just saw in Jenin and the Jenin refugee camp, where the Israeli military killed at least 11 Palestinians and 4,000 Palestinian refugees had to flee for their lives. We are standing with workers who say, no tech for apartheid, and we will continue to do so until Amazon and Google cut this contract. What do we say? No tech for apartheid!
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 All right, friends. I think we're now going to hear from our first speaker. We know that this action, we're all out here right now, right? Showing the public what this is about. But folks inside had to hear it too, right? Folks inside needed to make sure that these demands are being directly delivered to the executives who are responsible for this violence and enabling tech weapons. And so I want to first off appreciate the folks who took direct action inside, because it's not easy, right? It's not easy. We know we're doing the right thing, but there are a ton of people who are hating on us, as we have seen even just out here flyering. So imagine what it's like to be inside delivering these demands. So thank you all for taking this action. And so I want to introduce first Sumaya Awad, who is a Palestinian.
Disruptors first.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, sorry.
Disruptors first. So who's first? Who's the first speaker? Y'all here?
Yeah, no invitation.
Hello everyone. Thank y'all so much for being here. I was part of a team that interrupted the keynote address of the Vice President of AWS. And it was exhilarating. And I'll tell you what, for every boo that I heard, I saw twice as many people look at me and nod. For every flyer that I handed out after I got out of that room, I got 3 times as many nods. We are winning the war of public image. People are now hearing what's going on in Palestine. They're hearing what's going on with the corporate sponsorships, and we delivered that message to a whole room here just to be here for Amazon. I'm now going to turn it over to my other colleagues. Thank y'all.
Hi there. Yes, I was the last of the 5 of us disruptors, and I got to see everybody shout and get booed and all of that, and nobody around me knew that the next person who's going to shout is going to be right next to them. So it was yes, it was definitely exhilarating, especially since my voice isn't even that good today, and I just had to go shout through it and say, I don't care if my throat hurts, because the Palestinians need us there, and they need us to destroy their image, and their Swami's entire intro speech basically was disrupted by the 5 of us shouting out.
Okay, awesome. All right, we're gonna go back. Yeah. I was also one of the disruptors, and I just want to add that as an Indian American, a lot of the people in the crowd looked like me. They looked like my aunties and uncles, and it just reminds me more that we have a commitment towards getting our communities to care, especially when they feel apolitical, because that apoliticalness is silence, and that silence is simplicity. So I really hope that we can bring this back to our communities. And as someone who felt like a lot of people in that space look like me, it just reminded me more of just bringing more people who are like me into this conversation as well, because we are very much a part of this tech apartheid, Hindutva, Zionism kind of coalition that is here to oppress workers, to oppress Palestinians, to oppress minorities, etc.
Hi everyone! I was also a disruptor today. I was so grateful to be a part of this movement so that we could tell all of the Amazon executives that there is no business as usual while people are dying. As a tech worker myself, and also as an Indian American, when I saw Swami Sivasubramanian, the Vice President of AWS, up there, I felt like we had to let him know that today and all days, we are going to show our solidarity to the Palestinian people. So, long live Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Thank you!
Let's keep it going with some chants. Amazon, Amazon, you can't hide. Complicity in apartheid.
Amazon, Amazon, you can't hide. Complicity in apartheid. Amazon, Amazon, you can't hide. Complicity in apartheid. Amazon, Amazon, you can't hide. Complicity in apartheid. Amazon, Amazon, you can't hide. Complicity in apartheid.
Can y'all hear me? Yeah! All right. I'm going to introduce our next speaker, Laith, who is a Palestinian American engineer who works at Amazon Games and who has been organizing alongside other Amazon workers against Project Nimbus.
All right, guys, I'm going to try and yell so you can hear me. Thanks, everybody. Good afternoon. As our host said, my name is Laith Abad, and I'm a software engineer at Amazon, and I am a first-generation Palestinian American. Thank you, everybody. As such, I'm here to express my deep concern with the Israeli military and government's contract with Amazon and Google, known as Project Nimbus. This contract provides powerful technology to an army that's been accused of war crimes, and a government that's enforcing a repressive system of apartheid, a crime against humanity, according to Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the United Nations, the Israeli Human Rights Organization B'Tselem, and others. Palestinian families live every day under deeply intrusive surveillance and fear of violence, being forced out of their homes and even death. More so, the Israeli government continues to build illegal settlements in Palestinian land, ignoring international law and forcibly displacing the Palestinian people who have lived in those lands for generations. My own father was ethnically cleansed from his home in Palestine, as well as many other relatives by the very same Israeli government we're protesting today. That's why I'm here, for my family, for my other relatives, and for the millions of other Palestinian families who've been affected. This is obviously deeply personal to me, and I know I'm not alone by seeing all your wonderful faces. As an Amazon employee and Amazon customers, we want to ensure that the tech we build and sell and use does not harm our communities and those of our users. People want to see Amazon take responsibility and lead the way on ending tech-driven human rights abuses. Amazon's business model must stop powering oppression, division, and discrimination. This is why Amazon and Google have to cut their contract with the Israeli government. Amazon can still be on the right side of history. They should listen to us, their own workers, Palestinian human rights organizations, the other communities that are being harmed by Amazon technology. That's why we've been organizing for over 2 years now with our fellow workers at Google, and how we will continue to come together and demand no tech for apartheid until all Palestinians can live in freedom and have their basic human rights. Thank you so much for being here. Free Palestine!
No more tech for Israel's crime!
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 Look, I love technology. It's great. It does cool stuff. But it's also used in very dangerous and harmful ways. And we know that it's corporations like Amazon and Google that are enabling government racist agendas, right, across the globe. And a lot of this work that we're doing is across issues. It's the same thing, right? It's the same players. Across communities, same. And throughout the program, we're going to hear from different speakers who are going to talk to this, including right now, Sumaya Awad, a Palestinian organizer and director of strategy for the Adalat Justice Project. And she's also a member of NYC DSA.
I'm gonna do my best to yell, but I don't have a very loud voice, so you can tell me if you need me to raise my voice. This project, this contract, Project Nimbus, that Amazon and Google have with Israel is violence. It's a violent contract because it uplifts and it entrenches apartheid and ethnic cleansing and occupation and settler colonialism. It entrenches Israel's military surveillance system. It entrenches checkpoints and apartheid walls. It entrenches Israel's decade-plus long occupation and surveillance and imprisonment of 2 million plus Palestinians in Gaza. That is what this contract does. What it does is it entrenches this military technology that Israel has been testing on millions of Palestinians for decades. It has been testing them on Palestinians and then exporting this technology to the world. And Google and Amazon are saying, yes, we support this. Project Nimbus includes a specific agreement with Israel's land authority. This is the authority that's responsible for kicking Palestinians out of their homes, expelling them, forcing them out overnight, and then giving their homes, their lands, to Israeli settlements, to Israeli settlers. In fact, we saw this happen just last week in occupied East Jerusalem with the Sob Laban family, a Palestinian family that has lived in that home for decades. And you know what? Israel came, they took them out. They left their furniture in there. Their milk was in that same fridge. Their food in the fridge. Israeli settlers came in the next day and took it over. The same furniture, the same food, and they taunted outside of their home. They taunted them. This is what this contract entrenches. This kind of theft, this mass organized theft, that is what Amazon and Google are saying that they not only support, but they want to help build it. They want to help build it. Workers built this technology. Oh, yeah. Not Amazon and Google, not those people up top. It's workers. It's the workers here today. They build it.
That's right.
They build it every single day when they go to work. When they come home at night, they're building this technology. And absolutely, they should have a say in how it's used. Absolutely, they should have a say in how their labor is used every day, where it goes. They have a right to demand that their labor, their work, these products that they create are not used in the service of apartheid, are not used in the service of ethnic cleansing and occupation, and yes, war crimes. This month we saw Sierra Club workers rally and organize. It's been 2 years. And they passed a resolution affirming their solidarity with Palestinians and pledging to investigate their union's funds in anything related to apartheid Israel. This week we have Amazon and Google workers here and other tech workers rallying after 2 years. It's been 2 years of this campaign and saying no tech for apartheid. We are seeing workers around the country, from UPS to the Actors Guild, to Amazon, to Google, and the list goes on and on and on. They're demonstrating their worker power. They're demonstrating that they deserve higher wages, better benefits, and a say in how their labor is used. They're demonstrating workers' power because we know that workers run the world. They have this power. And that's why this campaign is so inspiring. This is why this campaign is not going to die. It's not going to be forgotten and shoved under the rug. We will continue to support Amazon and Google workers as they say, no tech for apartheid. We refuse to have our labor used in the service of war crimes. These are war crimes. You cannot divorce workers from the product of their labor. You just can't do it. That's why workers are so powerful. That's why every big campaign, every change we've seen in the world, it happens from the bottom up, and that means workers. And that's why we're here today. And that's why we're going to keep supporting these Amazon and Google workers. Keep saying no tech for apartheid. We refuse to allow these companies to use their workers to produce products that then they take overseas to kill Palestinians, to surveil Palestinians, to imprison Palestinians. And we're setting a precedent because we know it's not just this contract with Israel. We know there are more contracts coming with other governments, with other violations of human rights. So this is just the start, and we're not ending here. No tech for apartheid.
So I'm here from Virginia, and maybe folks heard, right, but there was this whole ordeal about a second headquarters for Amazon. I know y'all kicked their asses out. Wonderful. Because whenever y'all won, we knew we were winning too, right? Because our fights are connected. They still opted to keep building in Arlington, Virginia though. Why? We knew because the government's right there, because the Pentagon's right there, because they're trying to expand this violence, right? And if they can be close to the empire, they can be right there making the decisions and expanding the tech weapons that they are providing to these governments, right? So in Northern Virginia, we had been organizing for a few years around issues affecting our communities, like policing, right? Like ICE. For a while, Virginia has had the biggest ICE prison in the Mid-Atlantic region called Farmville Detention Center. In Arlington County, where I've organized, one of the campaigns that we started was ICE out of Arlington because one of our friends had a fender bender and he got pulled over by the police, and the police asked him for his immigration status and called ICE on him and held him on the street for hours till they came and picked him up. What he told me about though is, I don't know what they were doing. He said, they pulled me up, they took pictures of me on the street, they ran him through some database in their car, and then they said, we're gonna call ICE on you. Despite the fact that he had in his driver's license from his home country, right? Despite the fact that he wasn't even at fault of anything in the situation. But that's the system of criminalization, of tracking people, of data extraction, and then using that and weaponizing it against our people. This same neighborhood where this happened is also where hundreds of families have been being pushed out already in the past few years since Amazon started building there. We've seen families see rents go up hundreds of dollars a year. We saw 80 families lose their homes in a matter of a month so that the property owners can flip it and then charge those apartments that used to cost $1,200. Now they're $900,000 townhomes. Almost $1 million to be able to buy a house there. People who live there can no longer afford it, right? Also, Virginia is unfortunately the host of all of the things that Amazon's trying to build through its data centers, right? There's a huge concentration of data centers in Virginia, and so we know that whenever there's police, that they have technology given to them by Amazon, it's being hosted in those data centers. Whenever technology is given to the Israeli government for apartheid, it's being hosted in those data centers. It's Amazon Web Services that is killing people. And on top of all of this, it's government as well that is literally subsidizing these corporations, literally taking our public funds and giving them to these companies so that they can go and keep killing people, keep displacing communities, keep harming us, right? Displacement, and I bring all of this up just because it's, like I'm saying, it's all connected, right? Amazon is displacing our people over there in Northern Virginia. Amazon is displacing people in Palestine. Point blank, right? That's what's happening. The fight against Amazon truly is a fight for life, right? Where it's a fight for housing justice. It's a fight for safety, true safety, right? Safety from state violence. Safety from being watched all the time. It also is making sure that we can have communities together, families together. And that's impossible when we have a prison industrial complex. That's impossible when we have mass surveillance and criminalization. And that's impossible when our people are being pushed out of their homes. Safety is impossible, and it is impossible under those conditions.
That's right. Yes.
And so, again, we are organizing because we are seeking life.
Yes.
We want to be able to live and thrive. And the reality is that politicians who are supporting these corporations are in the way of that vision, that these corporations are actively fighting against our vision of life and collective liberation. And so I just want to help do my part, and I invite all of you to also contribute however we can. I appreciate everybody being here, but this shit is tiring, right? This shit is tiring. These people have endless resources. Literally, 24/7, they can be fucking us all the time in so many different ways. But we need to truly build, organize, and have each other's back. And from there, I believe that we can win. One more thing that we also have been working on supporting in Virginia is the fight for justice for Pushan Brown. I know the friends from ALU are here. They actually named their union hall after Pushan. She was a worker in Springfield, Virginia at a warehouse, and she got assigned to do COVID testing with other workers at that job site. And she died suddenly in her sleep. Amazon never responded, never supported, never did anything. But if we think about it, right, this was in the pandemic. This is Amazon with endless money, and they had other workers testing other workers without any PPE, without any medical training, without any real support. And then somebody died, and they still didn't care, right? Workers have been dying in their warehouses a lot, unfortunately. And so for them, it's about the money, right? We saw the pandemic, they kept making money while our people suffered and died. And I want to now shout out ALU. For real. The way that y'all have taken on Amazon directly, right? And the power and the impact that y'all have made is, like, you can't put it into words, right? It's just real. And I want to say thank you because, like, for real, like, when we're in Virginia and we're scrapping in little organizations that we're like, man, what the fuck can we do? And y'all came through and it's like, hey, we can do this.
That's right.
We can do this.
That's right.
So I want to introduce Jordan Flowers and Gerald Bryson, the co-founders and organizers of ALU.
Hi, I'm Gerald Bryson, co-founder. Jordan Flowers here, co-founder. Thank you for having us here. Real quick, we don't have a lot of time, so I remember when I was working for Amazon and they were tracking us, you know, like when you were here doing your assignments, but you had to go to the lunchroom, which is that silver building over there, and you were expected to get there within 15 minutes, eat, and then get back over here. So all that tracking stuff is something that started with just simple trying to police workers, you know, and it's been elevated to a new level. When I was terminated, I first found out about the profiling system that Jeff was making. It also includes, whether you want to believe it or not, a lot of the employees that used to work for him. So when you get terminated, don't think that your information is going in the garbage. It's going into the profile system, which you know, I'm sorry to say I had no idea until last week that Google had anything to do with this. But I've been talking about this since I've been fired. And I think people kind of levitated more to my termination than when I was actually telling these reporters they have a profile system. They have a profile system. And lo and behold, today, here we are, and they're trying to oppress the Palestinian people with this same bullshit. You know, they want to sell it there, and they're going to try to sell it to other world governments too. So don't think it stops here with the Palestinians. It's going any place else. You know, because that was the main, and I talked about this, but I'm going to pass off, and I'm just going to say, no power to the Palestinian people. Keep the fight up, because, you know, when we fight, we win.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Flowers, and I would like to say that the $1.22 billion that they're funding to the Israeli government is a shame. That they should invest back to their workers, get these wages, because inflation's going up, rent's going up, and a lot of workers now are fearing for their jobs the same way Palestinians are fearing to live in their homes right now. I stand here today in solidarity that workers are feared to lose their jobs, to fight back for the workers who are losing their jobs. I'm here to stand in solidarity with the Palestinians who are afraid to lose their homes. They shouldn't have to have that fear to lose their homes, and that these companies should be held accountable on criminal charges. That these are that they should have nothing to do with the Israeli government, and that they should be held accountable for all charges against them and workers, and such as us, who have to fight every day for workers' safety, rights, and such as Poussin, her daughter, who is motherless now, and was only offered 6 weeks counseling and wasn't paid for a funeral for her. She's a single, she's by herself. No father, no mother, and Amazon only offered 6 weeks counseling.
Yeah, that's what they did.
This is why we are here today, to fight back, and everyone should have their chance to say that Amazon needs to be held accountable, Google should be held accountable, and the Israeli government should be held accountable for all charges and crimes.
Oh, one more thing, you know, power to the tech people that brung this forward.
Yes, definitely power to the tech people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
outside. So I appreciate you all for being out here. Shout out to our friends at Athena, to Lau, to all the organizers. Our friends at JVP. This doesn't happen just like that. There are people that organize day in and day out. And there are many workers who may not be here with us today, but I want to thank the ones who are, who wanted to be here with us today. So I just want to recognize the long-standing work that goes into organizing a campaign like this and the courage that it takes to go after a multi-billion-dollar corporation and a man that is worth billions of dollars. That's right. Often we come here to give bad news, but there's a lot of good news that's happening in the world right now. Just 2 days ago, the American Anthropology Association joined the call for BDS. Back in 2016, that resolution was defeated amongst the Academy. And just 2 days ago, not only did they win, but it was an overwhelming support for the call for boycott, divestment, sanctions. About 71% of the Academy of Anthropologists actually voted for this resolution. So that's just one example of many showing the shift of where people are coming when it comes to Palestinian liberation. I feel optimistic, and I know there are a lot of people that might feel differently. You can't have a democracy with apartheid, and we've been saying that for decades. But I guess the people of Israel just woke up and found that out too. So welcome to our world. I'm not going to lie to you, I do get a sense of satisfaction in my heart as I watch the resistance happening in Israel against the democracy. Now I know it ain't because they care about me or my family, or at least some of them don't. But I do like to see a democracy crumble from within, and it ain't got nothing to do with us. And that's what we needed to happen to get everybody to understand the long-standing work and education and resistance that this movement has had for decades. And that's because of all of you. So when you come out to these rallies, when you come to hold Amazon accountable, don't say that, oh, what has happened, what has changed. So much change is happening. People are coming to our side, and people are gravitating toward the right side of history. So I'm just feeling optimistic. Everybody can feel what they want. I feel optimistic. I know that this young generation and the upcoming generation is standing with all of you. And I know a lot of our seasoned folks have continued to be steadfast to bring us to this place too. So I appreciate the folks that I've been seeing in the streets of New York City for the last over 3 decades. So I appreciate it. So I'm just excited. I feel energized. Even with all, just so you know, and I talk to my beloved people in Palestine on a daily basis. And as you know, a lot of Palestinian Americans for the first time in over 3 decades were able to enter through the Ben Gurion airport. They were able to go from the river to the sea to visit family that they had been separated from. So I'm watching their joy. And I want you all to know that while the Palestinian people are suffering oppression, brutality, and murder and genocide at the hands of the state of Israel, they're still resilient. They understand that with liberations comes risk, comes loss of life, and they will be steadfast. So you never got to worry about the Palestinian people. The Palestinian people will always exist. They will always rise up. And one day, if not the adults today, but our children and grandchildren will enjoy a free and liberated Palestine that is a democracy for all people, where everyone feels respected and loved. You all said everything you need to say about this man right here. There's no reason for any billionaire, including Jeff Bezos, to exist in a nation where we have people who cannot even pay their rent and feed their children. That should exist, and Jeff Bezos is one of them. But if you are going to be a billionaire, the least that you can do is treat your workers with dignity and respect. Pay your workers not only a living wage, but a wage where they can thrive. The reason why you're a billionaire is because of the work that your workers do every single day to serve the American people, to serve people all over the world. So that's the least that we can do, and the least that he can do. Our job and our responsibility is to hold corporations like Google and Amazon accountable, and that is what you all have been doing, continue to do, and I will always be a soldier in the army to hold tech companies accountable for their complicity in violence against marginalized people here and abroad. Yay! Free Palestine! No tech for Israel's crime! Free Palestine! No tech for Israel's crime! We're all very capable of doing two-line chants, folks. Okay? We're gonna say free Palestine, no tech for Israel's crimes. Free Palestine!
No tech for Israel's crimes. Free Palestine. 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 No tech for Israel's crimes.
All right, what's up, everyone? Thank you all so much for coming out today and supporting tech workers in our efforts. My name is Mohammed. I'm a software engineer at Google and a proud member and organizer in the Alphabet Workers Union, CWA. We represent the vast number of our workers who feel like we've been cornered. We represent the vast number of Googlers who came to this company with promises of working on exciting projects for the future. At Google, our mission is supposed to be centered around organizing the world's information. It is supposed to be about making the world universally accessible. We are sold on impactful products. Google Search for a user experience that opens the door for many people to get information. Google Translate that connects people through language. I personally work in YouTube Music where theoretically I can bring people the music they enjoy and give outstanding musicians a platform to share their art. We were all sold on this mission that our company brings excellence and impact together. And today we feel slighted, betrayed, and offended that our co-workers are being asked to cast our mission to the wayside and instead work on military contracts with the violent, racist, apartheid entity called Israel. Some of the brightest minds I've ever known work in the Google campus down the road. And instead of tapping into their potential for greatness and brilliance, they're asked to tap into greed, to build technologies that will uphold the Israeli apartheid machine. It is not acceptable for workers to come into the office and contend with an ethical dilemma over a cup of coffee. We shouldn't have to break down in horror at what we are producing and who we are producing it for. The struggle for Palestinian liberation is also very personal and important to me. I am a Muslim, and I wonder how anyone can say a working environment is safe and inclusive if every day I'm being asked to betray my people, to choose between financial stability and human dignity. No Googler or tech worker, Muslim or otherwise, wants to be a pawn in the institution of the military. And we are tired of being asked to continue normalizing this work and collaborating on this work. Googlers and tech workers do not want to feel dread and fear at what we create and who we empower. Our companies can be profitable and successful without supporting apartheid and ethnic cleansing, without raising serious ethical concerns for the company and its workers.
That's right.
Success is possible without being straight up evil.
That's right.
So that's why we say no tech for apartheid. I want to make it clear that Googlers do not support military contracts. We do not support corporate greed over the ethical concerns of workers. We do not support greed over good. Google and Amazon need to do the right thing and cancel the contract.